You know that specific heavy pause when someone asks, "So, what was your childhood like?" You don't freeze because you forgot. You freeze because explaining why you were raising your siblings at age 9 tends to ruin the mood. We aren't talking about the loud, cinematic trauma here. We are talking about the silent, unglamorous reality. Standing on a step stool to stir boiling pasta because the adults were checking out for the day. Acting as a conflict mediator for your parents before you could even do long division. Psychologists call this parentification. It is deceptive because it looks impressive from the outside. Dr. Lisa Hooper's research reveals that what teachers praised as being an old soul was actually a nervous system on fire. You weren't mature. You were adapting to a permanent state of crisis. Your brain realized early on, if I don't fix this, nobody will. So you develop superpowers. You can walk into a room and instantly taste the emotional temperature. You anticipate needs before people even open their mouths. You became the ultimate crisis manager. But wait, there's a massive price tag on those skills. That survival operating system makes handling a disaster feel easy, almost comfortable. But it makes simple things, like resting, asking for help, or just existing without a job to do, feel absolutely terrifying. This crisis mode operating system doesn't just vanish when you move out. It becomes the absolute blueprint for every adult relationship you touch. You don't just date people, you manage them. You instinctively gravitate toward partners who are emotionally unavailable, volatile, or broken because your brain has hardwired a dangerous equation. Being useful equals being safe. If you aren't fixing a disaster, you feel invisible. When you meet someone stable who handles their own problems, you don't feel relief, you feel anxiety. To you, peace feels suspicious. Quiet feels like the calm before the storm. You crave the chaos because chaos is the only language you speak fluently. This drives a relentless, primal need for control that others mistake for just being type A. You overthink every text message, analyze every shift in tone, and micromanage every outcome. That isn't personality, that is a trauma response. You are running constant risk assessment simulations because, back then, predicting the explosion was the only way to survive the blast. You are trying to solve problems that haven't even happened yet. But the physical tax on your body is catastrophic. You are operating with a nervous system that has been locked in fight or flight overdrive since elementary school. This isn't just being tired, this is cellular depletion. You are exhausted in your bones. And the cruelest irony of all is that the world actively rewards you for this damage. Society looks at your extreme productivity, your low maintenance independence, and your refusal to ask for help, and it applauds. You get raises for your burnout. You get praised for your inability to rest. Everyone loves the person who needs nothing and gives everything. But while they clap for your competence, you are becoming fluent in a toxic language of automatic emotional labor that is slowly, secretly, emptying you out from the inside. You scan the room like a bomb squad technician. Every heavy footstep, every sharp exhale, every shift in tone, you catch it before it explodes. You're conducting the emotional temperature of the entire house, making sure nobody gets burned but you. It is a masterful, exhausting, invisible performance. But here's the brutal truth that usually takes decades to uncover. You are drowning in a glass box, screaming for help, while everyone outside is applauding how well you swim. You learned to confuse being needed with being loved. If you aren't fixing the crisis, mediating the fight, or soothing the parent, do you even exist? You became the Swiss Army knife of the family, indispensable, sharp, and utterly objectified. But utility is not connection. Being useful is not the same thing as being valued, and untangling your self-worth from your extreme competence is the terrifying first step toward the exit. Real healing here doesn't start with forgiveness. It starts with a weird, specific kind of grief. You aren't grieving what you lost. You are grieving the version of you that never got to exist. The irresponsible one, the brat. The messy kid who drops the ice cream cone and just cries instead of immediately cleaning it up to save mom the stress. You deserved the luxury of being a disaster. You deserved a childhood where the adults were the biggest people in the room, not you. So, right now, visualize that little version of yourself. The one still wearing the armor, still clutching the clipboard, still scanning the horizon for threats. You need to look them in the eye and say, "You did an incredible job. You kept us safe. You held it all together when the world was falling apart. But the shift is over. You are fired as the general manager of everyone else's emotions. Give them explicit permission to finally rest, to step down, and to be a beginner at the scary art of being taken care of. What would it actually feel like to wake up tomorrow and refuse to carry the weight?" If you are ready to explore that freedom, hit subscribe and click the join button so we can keep doing this deep work together.